Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to UGM. Thank you for joining, and sorry about the little wait. We're having some technical difficulties, but we're doing good now. And great to see you, Arav, Manhar, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Haridas, Hare Krishna, Bhaktinitai from Atlanta. Haribol, Nitai, how are you?
Yeah,
Good? All right. Yeah, feel free to turn your cameras on and put where you're joining from. And we'll get started for today's U Jam. And like always, we'll start off with a little prayer. Um, and the prayer format would be like my dear, your deities, and then your prayer. And then you can say thank you for considering my request. Would anyone like to nominate someone to give a prayer today? You can put your nominations in the chat. Let's see. Okay, Arav nominates Haridas. I second that nomination. Haridas, would you like to make a prayer? I just sent the format in the chat, if that helps.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
My dear Srila Radha Madan Mohan, God Nitai and Prabhupada, if you so desire, please make this UJAM successful. Thank you for considering my request. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Haridas. That was a beautiful prayer. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna start off with today are some shlokas. So we'll start and do our Chad for today, and then we'll go on from there. So, and then I can start and we can do 2 verses each. So if you would like to read, please raise your hand and we can first go with the Sanskrit and then come back to the English. Okay, let me share my screen. Arjuna Uvacha किं तत् ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मं किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते अधियज्ञ कथं कोत्र देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः. Can go ahead.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते भूतभावोद्भवकरो विसर्गकर्मसंज्ञितः अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषश्चादिदैवतम् अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र देहे देहभृताम्बर
कामेव स्मृत्वा एव ज्ञाप्यते समज्ञाति नास्ति यत् संशयः स्मृद्भावं ते क्लेव तं तं एतेया तद्भावभाविता.
Keshav.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मयर्पितो मनो बुद्धिर्मामे वश्यस्य संशयः अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसनन्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. Wait, I thought it's only 2 verses.
Yep, you can read too.
Yeah, I did. I read 2 verses.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll go on to the next person.
Yeah.
Haridas, go ahead.
Okay. प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणम् आवेश सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषम् उपैति दिव्यम् यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतराग यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्य सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुद्य च मूर्धन्याद्यात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणम्
Or you can go ahead.
ओमित्यक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् माम् अनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति तज्जन्देहं स याति परमां गतिम् अनन्यचेता सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः.
Right, I can continue. If you would like to read, please raise your hand. मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः आब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोका पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्तां तेरोरात्रविदो जनाः अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तय सर्वा प्रभवन्त्यः रागमे रात्रिरागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्रिरागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यः रागमे परस्तस्मात् तु भावोऽन्यो व्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति. Haridas, you can go.
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तस्तमाहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम पुरुषः स परपार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततम् यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयातायान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ.
Or go ahead.
अग्निर्ज्योतिरः शुक्ल षण्मास उत्तरायणं तत्र प्रयात गच्छन्ति ब्रह्म ब्रह्म विदो जनाः धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनं तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते.
Do you want to finish us off for the rest?
Yes, yeah. The next verse.
Sorry.
शुक्लकृष्णे गतिह्येते जगतः शाश्वते मते एक्ह्यायत्यानावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपःषु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्.
ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Taraka Brahma Yoga Nama Ashtamo Dhyaya Hari Om. All right. We'll go with the translations and maybe we can do 3 each. So I can start us off. If you would like to read, please raise your hand. Right. Arjuna inquired, O my lord, O supreme person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Who is the Lord of sacrifice, and how does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and its eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities.
Aspect of embodied beings. The physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adi Adidai. And the Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in the heart of every embodied being, I am called Aditya, the Lord of sacrifice. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me, alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Rian, go ahead.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as one who knows everything, as he is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material consumption, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. One who at the time of death fixes his life hair between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman, desiring such perfection. One practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by one may attain salvation.
Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life here at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places wherein repeated birth and death take place. But what ends my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
Navya? We're not able to hear you if you're talking. All right, we'll come back. Akshas, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again.
Do you want to continue? And then if someone wants to read, they can come in between.
Yeah. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is internal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested form. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, no one never returns. That is my supreme abode. The supreme personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading, and everything is situated within him. O best of Bharatas, I shall now explain to you different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light, at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, therefore, be always fixed in devotion. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas. Performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
Perfect. Thank you for ending us off, Nitai. That was such a beautiful reading that you did. All right, well, we'll take maybe 2-3 minutes to talk about any reflections you might have had from Chad or any verses, and maybe maybe we can start. Does someone want to give a summary of the chapter? Maybe in 2 sentences or less. If anybody wants to try, can raise your hand. Or a summary of a verse that you liked. Doesn't have to be the full thing. Keshav, go ahead.
So I want to do a summary of the chapter, and I'm not sure if this is completely accurate,
Okay.
but is it that Krishna is talking to Arjuna about how yogis can worship him, or how you can worship him by being impersonalist, basically, through like Brahman?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he definitely talks about um the different approaches to worshiping, but then also the person who's a devotee is not bewildered by. I remember it was talking about how people even either someone pass in light or in darkness, but the devotee is not um he's always fixed in devotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. We've got 2 more. Okay, Arav, go ahead.
Hey Krishna. In the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna is confused. He asks a lot of questions like, what is this? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
And then Lord Krishna answers all of them in the first few verses, and also he elaborates more on the birth and death of these devotees. He says the devotees will not get they they will be having the knowledge of the Vedas and all this, but they're more full because they will guaranteed go back to Krishna, because that is what he's saying. He's saying, one who remembers my nature at the end of his life will surely reach me. But then for other people, he said if they pass in day, they pass in night, like this other stuff.
Nice. You mentioned that whatever stage one remembers me, that will reach him, and I'm remembering a popular verse from the Gita. Does anybody remember that and want to state it? If not, we can look into it together. Anybody have any guesses? I believe it's in the second chapter. Okay, we'll come back. Oh, Haridas, you have a guess? Yeah.
Hi everyone, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyanti kalivaram tam tamaivati kaunteya sadatad bhava bhavita.
Okay. What does it mean to you in your own words?
Basically, like whatever we think of at the end of our life, that's what we become.
Hmm.
And I also had like one verse from the chapter that we read.
Yeah.
It's like two basically. So the first one is 8:24. So in
Okay.
that Krishna is saying those who know the Supreme Brahman attain the Supreme by passing away. So basically he's saying only once we can understand Krishna completely, or once we know Krishna, only then we can attain him, because that's what Krishna is saying. So that means and only devotees can know Krishna. So that means only devotees can come to Krishna. And then I just had that one, 8:24, and I wanted to and it's also an auspicious moment of the day when the devotee goes back to Krishna. It's not like inauspicious. And
Mm,
then so that's 824, but then in 825
mhm.
Krishna talks about the mystic. So the mystic who's passing away. So if you're a yogi, for example, then we won't attain Krishna, but we may attain, like, here it's written, the mystic who passes away during some time, he reaches the moon planet, but again comes back to this material world. So it's a temporary reaction basically. So that's why don't we go for the higher when it's already there? So that's why, like, I was just comparing those two verses.
Wow. Wow. I really love how you went from 24 to 25 and that transition. It's a beautiful point you make about having that temporary destination. It's like if you approach someone who's a millionaire and you ask for $1, I mean, you can ask for so much more. It's kind of like that, what I was thinking about. Yeah, Arav, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. I just remembered one verse from the Gurvashtakam where it says, if you chant the Gurvashtakam in the morning at Brahma Muhurta, you will attain Krishna at the time of death. Srimad Gurvashtakam Metadukshar Brahme Muhurte Patate Prayatna Yastena Vrindavananata Sakshat Vande Guru. Right? Sevaivalabhya Janashota.
Wow. Could you send that in the chat for us to look later?
Yes, yeah.
Take your time, but we would love to look at that. That's so beautiful. Yeah, Nitai. Nitai, do you play mridanga? I see so many in the back.
My brother plays.
Your brother plays? Are you also
Yes.
gonna?
Haridas is my brother, so he plays.
Very nice. Yeah, go ahead.
So Krishna is telling Arjuna that do your duty and also remember me. Like when you're doing your studies, then you can remember Krishna also.
Mm, yeah. Do you feel that in your life? Like when you're studying or doing something that you can still remember Krishna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt it too sometimes, like, when you're doing math or any subject, like you may not remember Krishna while you're doing it, but as when you get the result, you can at least offer it to Krishna. Then it becomes beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Ara, for sending that verse. And where did you find this from?
It's the ninth verse of Gurvashtakam. So every morning
Oh, nice. Great. Right. All right, well, we'll do our reading of the Prabhupada Lilamrita, and I'll open it up to where we stopped, and we'll do a few minutes of that. Oop. And then if you would like to read, please raise your hand, and I can start us off, but we'll do 3 verses each for now. Were any of you guys here for Youth Jam last week when we read? You guys were there? Okay. Then you can correct me. I think this is the right spot, but or was it earlier? Okay, we'll start.
it might have been the part where like he didn't go to Japan a little bit after that.
Okay. Okay. So a little bit after this.
Yeah, a little bit after this.
Okay. I had it open and then it went down.
Yeah, I think
So starting from here, maybe?
the one above this, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one.
All right. Do you want to give us a 1-sentence summary of what is happening right now, Arav, for others?
Yes, yeah. I'll try remembering.
Okay, yeah,
So-
no worries, no pressure. I put you on
All
spot again.
I think after he had tried to go to Japan, he had went to the place where Rupa Goswami's samadhi was,
Okay.
and it was a description of his room and how it like tilted a little bit, what he had in his room and what he would do. He would write his books. He would go around the Rupa Goswami Samadhi
Mm-hmm.
pays respects to his Guru Maharaj, the Goswamis, and you see the deity. I think of there was the Radha Krishna deity. He could see the Krishna deity through in his room, and he
Mm.
would sometimes leave outside the room, and then in the early morning he could see some light through his room. I think.
Yeah.
Then yeah, and then he was just remembering his guru and his
Mm.
instructions,
Wow. That
from
was
what I
beautiful.
remember.
That was beautiful. All right. Okay, well, let's see what happens after. I'll start with 3 verses and then we'll hand it over to Nitai. In June, the weather became intolerably hot, and one could not remain active through the afternoon. During the most oppressive hours, Bhaktivedanta Swami would shut his doors and shutters and run the overhead fan. By evening, the heat would abate. Again, a flurry of visitors would arrive, and in the temple compound, there would be evening kirtans. Sitting on his veranda, Bhaktivedanta Swami would sometimes talk with visitors, for sometimes they would come to his door and observe him as he worked at his typewriter. He was known in Vrindavan as a scholar and a sublime devotee, but he kept to himself as much as possible, especially in the summer of 1962, working on Srimad Bhagavatam. This was his real purpose in coming here, to prepare the books he could distribute to the people of the West. Although as yet he had no means for traveling even as far as Japan, and no means for printing books, these were the goals for which he worked. He had not come to Vrindavan to die and return to Godhead. Rather, he had come because it was the ideal place to gain spiritual strength for his main life's work. The exact shape of his future mission, Bhaktivedanta Swami did not know, but he did know that he must prepare himself for preaching Srimad Bhagavatam to the English-speaking Western world. He must become a perfectly equipped instrument of his masters, and if they desired, they would send him. Chapter 11, The Dream Come True. I planned that I must go to America. Generally they go to London, but I did not want to go to London. I was simply thinking how to get to New York. I was scheming whether I shall go this way, through Tokyo, Japan, or that way. Which way is cheaper? That was my proposal. And I was targeting to New York always. Sometimes I was dreaming that I have come to New York. Srila Prabhupada. Nita, you can continue with 3 paragraphs.
Writing was only half the battle. The other half was published. Both Bhaktivedanta Swami and his spiritual master wanted to see Srimad Bhagavatam printed in English and distributed widely. According to the teachings of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, the most modern methods of printing and distributing books should be used to spread Krishna consciousness. Although many books of Vaishnava wisdom had already been perfectly presented by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Jiva Goswami, the manuscripts now sat deteriorating in the Radha Damodara temple and other locations. And even the Gaudiya Math's printings of the Goswamis' works were not being widely distributed. One of Bhakti Vedanta Swami's godbrothers asked him why he was spending so much time and effort trying to make a new commentary on the Bhagavatam, since so many great acharyas had already commented upon it. But in Bhaktivedanta Swami's mind, there was no question. His spiritual master had given him an order. Commercial publishers, however, were not interested in the 6th volume Bhagavatam 60-volume Bhagavatam series. And Bhakti Vedanta Swami was not interested in anything else than a 60-volume Parampara presentation of verses, synonyms, and purports based on the commentaries of the previous acharyas. But to publish such books, he would have to raise private donations and publish at his own expense. Radha Damodar Temple may have been the best place of writing Srimad Bhagavatam, but not for printing and publishing it. For that, he would have to go to New Delhi. Among his Delhi contacts, Bhakti Vedanta Swami considered Hitsaran Sharma a likely helper, although when he stayed in Mr. Sharma's home, Mr. Sharma had appreciated him more as a member of a genre than as an individual. At least Mr. Sharma was inclined to help sadhus, and he recognized Bhakti Vedanta Swami as a genuinely religious person. Therefore, when Bhakti Vedanta Swami approached him in his office, he was willing to help, considering it religious duty to propagate Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hitsaran Sharma was qualified to help for two reasons. He was the secretary to G.D. Dalmia, a wealthy philanthropist, and he was the owner of a commercial printing works, Radha Press. According to Mr. Sharma, Mr. Dalmia would not directly give money to Bhaktivedanta Swami. Even if his secretary suggested it, Mr. Sharma therefore advised Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami to go to Gorakhpur and show his manuscript to Hanuman Prasad Podar, a religious publisher. Accepting this as good advice, Bhaktivedanta Swami journeyed to Gorakhpur, some 475 miles from Delhi. Even such a trip as this constituted a financial strain. Bhaktivedanta Swami's daily ledger showed a balance of 130 rupees as of August 8th, 1962. The day he started for Gorakhpur, by the time he reached Lucknow, he was down to 57 rupees. Travel from Lucknow to Gorakhpur cost another 6 rupees, and the rickshaw to Mr. Podar's home cost 80 paisa. But the trip was well worth the cost. Bhaktivedanta Swami presented Mr. Podar with his letter of introduction from Hitsaran Sharma, and then showed him his manuscript. After briefly examining the manuscript, Mr. Podar concluded it to be a highly developed work that should be supported. He agreed to send a donation of 4,000 rupees to the Dalmia Trust in Delhi to be used towards the publication of Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami's Srimad Bhagavatam.
Indian printers do not always require full payment before they begin a job, provided they receive a substantial advance payment. After the job is printed and bound, a customer who has not made the complete payment takes a portion of the books commensurate to what he has paid, and after selling those books, he uses his profit to buy more. Bhaktivedanta Swami estimated that printing one volume would cost 7,000 rupees, so he was 3,000 short. He raised a few hundred rupees more by going door to door throughout Delhi. Then he went back to Radha Press and asked Hitsaran Sharma to begin. Mr. Sharma agreed. Radha Press had already produced much of the first two chapters when Bhaktivedanta Swami objected that the type was not large enough. He wanted 12-point type, but the Radha Press had only 10-point. So Mr. Sharma agreed to take the work to another printer, Mr. Gautam Sharma of OK Press. In printing Bhaktivedanta Swami's Volume 1 of the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, OK Press printed 4 book pages twice on a side of one sheet of paper 20 by 26 inches. But before running the full 1100 copies, they would print a proof, which Bhaktivedanta Swami would read. Then, following the corrected proofs, the printers would correct the handset type and run a second proof, which Bhaktivedanta would also read. Usually he would also find errors on the second proof. If so, they would print a third. If he found no errors on the third proof, they would then print the final pages. At this pace, Bhaktivedanta Swami was able to order small quantities of paper as he could afford it, from 6 to 10 reams at a time, ordered 2 weeks in advance.
Even as the volume was being printed, he was still writing the last chapters. When the proofs were ready at OK Press, he would pick up the proofs, return to his room at Chippewara, correct the proofs, and then return them. Sometimes 14-year-old Kantvedi, who lived at Chippewala temple with his parents, would carry the proofs back and forth for the Swami. But in the last months of 1962, Bhaktivedanta Swami usually made a daily walk to OK Press. His walk through the tight, crowded lanes of Chippewara soon led him to a road close to the Jama Mosque, and that road led into the noisy, heavily trafficked Shawari Bazaar. The neighborhood was a busy paper district, where laborers with ropes strapped across their shoulders pulled stout wooden carts, heavily loaded with stacks of paper on small iron wheels. For 2 blocks, paper dealers were the only business. Hariram Gupta and Company, Roop Chand and Sons, Bengal Paper Mill Company Limited, Universal Traders, Janta Paper Mart, one after another, even down the side alleys. The neighborhood storefronts were colorful and disorderly. Pedestrian traffic was so hectic that for a person to dally even for a moment would cause a disruption. Carts and rickshaws carried paper and other goods back and forth through the street. Sometimes a laborer would jog past with a hefty stack of pages on his head, the stack weighing down on either end. Traffic was swift, and an unmindful or slow-footed pedestrian risked being struck by a load protruding from the head of a bearer or from a passing cart. Occasionally, a man would be squatting on the roadside, smashing chunks of coal into small pieces to sell. Tiny corner smoke shops drew small gatherings of customers for cigarettes or pan. The shopkeepers would rapidly spread the pan spices on a betel leaf, and the customer would walk off down the street chewing the pan and spitting out the red stained saliva.
Dabia, go ahead.
Amidst the milieu, as the Chowri Bazaar commercial district blended into tenement life and children played in the hazardous streets, Bhaktivedanta Swami was a gentle-looking yet determined figure. As he walked past the tenements, the tile sellers, the grain sellers, and the sweet shops and the printers, overhead would be electric wires, pigeons, and the clotheslines from the tenement balconies. Finally, he would come to the OK Press, directly across from a small mosque. He would come carrying the corrected proofs to anxiously oversee the printing work. After 4 months, when the whole book had been printed and the sheets were stacked on the floor of the press, Mr. Hidsaran Sharma arranged for the work to be moved to a bindery. The binding was done by an ancient operation, mostly by hand, and it took another month. Bhaktivedanta Swami would come and observe the workers. A row of men sat in a small room, surrounded by stacks of printed paper. The first man would take one of the large printed sheets, rapidly fold it twice, pass it to the next man, who performed the next operation. The pages would be folded, stitched, and collated, then put into a vise and hammered together before being trimmed on 3 sides with a handsaw and glued. Bit by bit, the book would be prepared for the final hardcover. In addition to his visits to OK
press and the bindery, Bhaktivedanta Swami would also occasionally travel by bus across the Yamuna River to Mr. Hitsaran Sharma's Radha Press. The Radha Press was printing 1,000 dust jackets for the volume.
Thank you, Navya, for ending that off. We'll stop for the reading here, but I'm going to open it up a few minutes for any reflections or thoughts, and we'll end our session with a game. If you were in ISV for you jam in person, you might already know the answers. But for those who weren't, it's free for guessing, and it'll be a fun game. But anyways, before we go on, anybody want to share something that stood out to them from the reading, or anything that you're reflecting on? Haridas, go ahead.
Prabhupada took great effort in getting the books printed, basically, and he was always ready to serve his Guru Maharaj. And like we could see, he's walking everywhere, and he's always careful of every penny he pays. That he doesn't pay too much, he doesn't pay too much, and he would try to get the best available. At the same time, it should be lowest cost, so that way he could save more money and print more books. And he was not using any of the money for himself.
Yeah. That's a beautiful point. It just reminds us I feel like, to be more grateful in our day-to-day life too. Sometimes we take a lot of items that we may have for granted, and I like your point because I also noticed that Prabhupada was so careful in saving money and even getting a place for their first center in New York. I've heard the story that he had the price go like even less than half and stuff like that. So he was so meticulous about that. Yeah, thank you, Haridas. Keshav, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that Prabhupada is very determined. Like, and he's very focused. Like, there's just random stuff going on around him. Yeah, he just focused and determined on getting the supplies for printing his books.
Yeah, I like that you said he was focused. Yeah, like one pointed attention. Yeah. Thank you, Keshav. That was nice. Arav?
Hare Krishna. We see Prabhupada he goes inside the book printing factory or the book binding factory, and he's watching as this is done because this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana that Lord Chaitanya has recommended everybody read in Kali Yuga. He values the Bhagavatam so high, and the first part of the Bhagavatam, if anybody's read it, it's like very, very in detail because he didn't know at this point, he was still in India, he didn't know how he would get to America.
Yeah.
So this Bhagavatam, he's included like everything inside of it, and he said who it's based off of, and he talks about all the four regulative principles, everything you must do to become liberated. So this is where it started for his Srimad Bhagavatam journey, and he kept it going. The rest of the Bhagavatam is just as beautiful as the first part of the first canto, and his Guru Bhakti is very high because he chants the holy name very purely. When you chant the holy name purely, you get Guru Bhakti, and you will become eternally blissful. That's how the quality of the holy name is.
Yeah. Wow. I like that you mentioned that. And yes, I've known that the first two cantos of the Bhagavatam, like Prabhupada literally put everything in that, and he put his heart and soul because he didn't know, frankly, if he would be able to finish the whole set. And the fact that we have the whole set just shows how much effort he must have put to get that to us. Yeah, it just makes you appreciate so much, right? It's nice. Yeah. Thank you, Arav. Bhaktanitai?
So, uh, Hare Krishna. So when I heard in the Prabhupada Leela just now, that Prabhupada went to Vrindavan, and but he did not go to like leave his body. And go to spiritual world. He went to get spiritual strength and then deliver all the souls.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, this is so nice. Because Prabhupada even left Vrindavan first to come to America. And there's been so many instances where Prabhupada was like wanting showing that he was feeling separation from Vrindavan, but he stayed here for us. And then even when he went back, Nitai, the same point that you said, he didn't go for his own, any, you know, comfort. He went to get spiritual strength so he could help us. What an important point. Ara, for the close.
Hare Krishna. I just remembered something when
Mhm.
so Prabhupada probably wasn't even worried that when he was going to leave Vrindavan because his heart is always in Vrindavan and
Mm,
his mind is always absorbed in Vrindavan.
yeah.
There's one story of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and his disciple. So I'm forgetting the disciple's name, but he became sick and he was in Mayapur with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and all the devotees there. And his this devotee's brahmachari's mom was saying he should come back, spend his last few months with us in, I think it was Kolkata. So
Mm,
in Kolkata, they were saying come back, and the son was asking was asking Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He's saying, "Can I go back? I want to be with my parents." And he says, "No, I'll keep you here." And then he keeps asking, and then at the very last few hours of this brahmachari's life, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, send him back to Kolkata. And then they put him in a car and he's going. And then everybody's like, why did you do that? Why would you send him back? He was in the Dham of Mayapur and now he might need to suffer again. But then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave his explanation. He says, as he was going out of the Mayapur Dham, his mind was thinking of Mayapur, but if he had stayed here, he would think about his poor mother back in Kolkata. Instead, he was thinking about me here in Mayapur. So his heart is in Mayapur and he will go back to Godhead. That was his reasoning. So I just found that
wow.
related.
I never heard that story. That was amazing. Where'd you hear that, Ara? Do you remember?
Yeah, me and uh, this one Prabhuji, Adigadada Prabhuji, he
Oh,
and his family, they went to North Carolina. We went with them too.
okay.
And when we were inside the temple, we were speaking about, I think that time we just finished the Leela of Raghunath Das Goswami and Swarup Damodar Goswami and Lord Chaitanya at his little hut eating the rice from the cow dung. So
Hmm.
after that, we had gone to the temple and we were talking about the passing of Srila Gaur Govinda Swami.
Mhm.
And then after that, he spoke this story, I think, or before he spoke this story.
Wow.
I think the topic was Yukta Vairagya, but I'm not remembering how the story came up. Yeah, we
Wow.
were in the Sri Sri Radha Golokananda temple.
Oh, so you may know Shweta Manjari from there?
Yeah, I met her.
Oh, perfect. Oh, this is awesome. That'd be
And
so.
I know Advaita
Oh, go
Chandra.
ahead.
I think he's
Oh,
come to these ones.
yeah, yeah. He joins once in a while. He's awesome.
Yeah, he goes to college. Yeah, that's just a little bit difficult.
Oh, that's great. Thank
Yeah.
you, Aram. All right, now we'll end off with the game for today's Youth Jam session. So I'm gonna share my screen to introduce it, and you might have known about it before, but right, we'll be playing the emoji game. So we'll have a bunch of emojis, and then you can guess the pastime using the emojis. Ryan, you're in ISV. Do you remember playing this game?
Yeah, once we did. Once I did it.
Okay. Okay. Nice. All right. So how it'll work is there'll be
I
emojis.
don't really remember all of the emojis, all of the guesses. So
That's totally okay. That's perfect actually, because then you guys can all work together again. All right. So if you would like to, if you know the pastime, you can raise your hand or put it in the chat. And if we get a correct answer, we'll move on. Right. Ready? Let's start. Does anybody know what this could be? Keshav, yeah?
Is it Holika or Putna?
Holikar Putna. Okay, I'm gonna let everyone, maybe Nitai, give a chance too.
I was going to say Putana.
Okay. Okay, I'll give a hint. It's something from the Ramayana.
Is it Surpanaka?
It's what?
Surpanaka?
That would be a very good guess for this. Okay, these emojis are kind of hard. So, oh, there's
is
some
this wait, what was that demon card still? Yeah, Maricha.
It's related to Sita.
Related to Sita. Okay, that's definitely.
Haridas, you have one last time. Go.
Okay, so after 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 Sita came from Lanka, at that time Ram said he will not accept Mother Sita, but then Sita went inside the fire and to prove her purity. Is it that?
No, okay, I'll give it away. So it might be hard. Okay, this one's kind of hard. It's like when Sita crosses the Lakshman Rekha before. This one's kind of hard, so don't come at me. But those were all great guesses. All right, we'll go through it a little faster. I'll try to. Anybody know? The hint is the snake.
Krishna dancing on Kalia.
Yes. 10 points for Rian. Maybe more. Anita, do you have your hand?
Govardhan Hill, if I'm correct.
Yes. Also, if you know the answer, raise your hand or put in the chat. So everyone can volunteer. Nitai.
I was also going to say Govardhan.
Yes, that's
The
correct. Correct. This might be a little trickier. Anyone have any idea? Haridas.
I just wanted to say, like, we are putting it in the chat also. So I was also going to say Mahaprabhu's birth.
Oh, you're right. That's correct. Sorry, I missed that. It's when you're screen sharing and monitoring the chat, it gets kind of tricky. But yes, this is correct. Dark Purnima. All right. Anyone guesses here? Who raised their hands first? Was it Navya?
Yes. When the Hiranyaks sunk their earth and Lord Varaha came to stop him and save the earth.
Yes, you're right. When Varaha, they've lifted the earth. That's correct. You guys are so good at this. Okay. The hint is this picture. What does that remind you guys of? The circle, exclamation in the circle?
Like Jagannath.
Yeah, yeah, Jagannath. And then what would be the first two?
The disappearance of Mahaprabhu, like him entering the deity.
It's related to Mahaprabhu, but it's not that quite. Keshav, you have something?
Isn't Mahaprabhu fainting?
Yes.
Oh, fainting in the ocean.
Yeah, it's when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu faints at the Jagannath temple in Puri. Yeah, that was awesome, Keshav.
Wait, what's the water for them?
I think it was near the water, if I remember correctly. One of those. Would
I
you
think
know?
it's the ocean. I think it was ocean.
Jagannath
Yeah.
Puri is like near the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. This is crazy. I've made this up and I'm still like, what did I put the watermark? Thank you guys. All right. Navya?
This is when Krishna killed Trinavarta,
Yeah,
the wind demon.
you got it. This is from Chaitanya Leela. Keshav,
Is it Chant Kazi?
what about Pankaj?
Oh, did he break the mridanga?
Yeah, like Lord Chaitanya delivering Chandkazi,
All
basically.
right, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Rian.
Sudama offering chipped rice to Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that what you were gonna say, Navya, too?
Yeah,
Would give it away. I guess the rice, but
the rice and the feet.
the rice and the feet. Nobody got the feet. I meant the feet to be like something, when Krishna washes Sudama's feet. That's what I was thinking about. Rian, you had something to say? All right. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. This is a little tricky, but focus on the 7. And I feel like Arav might have a good idea because he seems to like Bhagavatam. Arav?
Is this? I think I'm. I don't know if this is right. Wait, I just need to think for a second.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Take your time. I thought you raised your hand. Navya, or Navya and Nitai, you guys can. Navya, do you want to go first and then we'll have Nitai go?
Yeah. Is it when Parikshit Maharaj gets cursed and then gets bitten by the snake after 7 days?
Yeah, yeah. Nitai, were you gonna say the same thing? You were. That's awesome. Good job to you and Nitai. This has to do with Vrindavan. That's a hint. Haridas.
Is it Nalakuvira and Manipur?
No, but I see how you would think that with the tree. I would say focus on, it's a little tricky one, but it's one of the pastimes with Krishna and the gopis. Haridas, do you know?
Yeah, he steals the clothes of the gopis.
Yeah, true. Nita, we're gonna call on you next. So be ready. Actually, this one's a little harder, but so it's open for everyone, whoever wants to try. Keshav, you want to give it a shot?
Is it like Arjuna kidnapping Subhadra or
Yeah,
Krishna? Oh, okay.
That's correct. That's correct. What made you think about that? Like,
Well, since there's the woman and the man and the bull and the horse and the man are also running.
nice. Nice. That was a hard one. That was awesome. Thanks, Keisha. Yeah. Okay, Nitai, I'll give it to you this time.
Is it Hanuman eating the fire?
Yeah, it's
The
the sun.
Yeah, he thought it was a mango.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. That's exactly it. Navya, was that were you gonna say that too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys are scholars. And I see Akshaj also put Hanuman. That's awesome. All right, this one. So many hands raised. Okay. Who hasn't gone in a while? Okay. Arav, I feel like you weren't gone. You can go.
This is Arjuna shooting the fish's eye and winning Draupadi's marriage.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll do like 2 more minutes and then we'll end off. Um, this might be a nice one to guess. Okay. Keshav, you want to try?
Is it the dice game of Mahabharat?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Dice game? Did you say
In
something?
Mahabharat,
Okay.
gambling match.
I think Akshaj is a little closer. He said Draupadi. Akshaj, do you want to say more?
Uh, no, I started like example of Draupadi. I don't really know the story, but I just know
No,
like
you're like right on track. If you combine Keshav. Okay, Navya, you got it.
Um, it was when during the gambling match when it was one of the Kauravas tried to take off Draupadi's sari and she was praying for Krishna.
Oh, exactly. Rian, were you gonna say something like that? Were you gonna add something more? No?
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, it's Draupadi's Western.
How
All right, we'll do 2 more. So if you didn't get to volunteer or you know the answer, you've got 2 more tries. Right. This is the tricky one.
Milk, rice, well,
Think about what you make a sweet that you get when you combine milk and rice.
Wait, can I say?
Each of you know?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Is it like Madhavendra, I think? Or like, so he was just wanting to taste the kheer, but then yeah.
Yeah, it's Madhav
Gopinath,
here from Gopinath. What was that?
Shira Chora Gopinath.
Yeah, Kheer Chor Gopinath. So the sweet was Kheer. All right. This is a interesting one, but
This is from Krishna Lila.
Rian, go ahead.
Is it Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaving home when taking sannyas?
Yes, yes. Was someone else also gonna say something similar? Ara, were you about to say something?
No, I was thinking it was something else for something.
What were you thinking?
No, I wasn't really like I was looking at the woman. I thought that was Lord Chaitanya's wife, but that also might have been his mom. So I was just
Mm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because the haircut was to me him
yeah,
taking
yeah. Sanyas.
and then the orange is the outfit. Okay, this is great. We have some more, but we'll save that for next youth jam. Um, yeah, and then we'll give 2 minutes, 5 minutes, about 5 minutes for any reflections if you guys want to share. Anything that's going good in your life, bad, you're frustrated about something, you're happy about something, anything you want to share, please go ahead. We have a few minutes and then we'll end it. Arav, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just remembering something that my mridanga and flute teacher told me. He was saying there's a moment when you're too fast and when you're too slow. And then there's a moment when you're inside the pocket. So there's sometimes we need to be inside the pocket of our sadhana. So we need to be able to do as many rounds as we can that are good rounds. For people who are taken shelter or initiated, 16 is the minimum, but we must try to increase the amount of good rounds there are. And also reading, we can't read too much because if we read too much, then we won't absorb, for me at least, I won't absorb anything. For me, if I read a certain amount of pages or a certain amount of one story, that's good enough for one day and I can grasp the concept better. And it's the same thing for practicing these instruments for kirtan. If I practice too much, then I keep getting more confused because I keep doing so much. I get confused about how this will be, how that'll be. So we need to be inside the pocket. This was just said because I was playing a little bit too fast, I think. But I'm just thinking, how can that become a Krishna conscious thing?
Yeah, that's nice. As soon as you said inside the pocket, I was thinking about a verse from the Ishopanishad that talks about not taking more than your quota, um, not eating more than required, not eating too less, and being balanced in that way. That's awesome. And I've been trying to learn mridanga, and it's been honestly hard to do it like by myself. I know Rian is an amazing player if you guys have seen. He plays in ISV and he's awesome. He was playing for Kirtan last week. So anyways, I was playing and it's so easy to try to go fast because you want to try to play like fast. But I'm like, okay, I need to go really slow because if I do it correct slowly more times, then it's likely that when I'm doing it fast, I'll get it right, you know? And maybe any of you other Mridanga players on this call right now? Anyone? Keshav? Okay. Nice. Haridas, you're a Mridanga player? Or you're learning?
Yeah, I'm learning.
Wow, nice. And you said you play flute also, Arav?
Yeah, yeah. I'm I play flute during kirtan. It's also the same thing because if you play too fast, you get ahead of the beat. And in one kirtan mela, they called me at the temple, and I was playing there. And I think at one he said he looked at me, which indicates it's time for a solo. And then at the beginning, I started playing really fast, and then he looked at me again, and then I was getting from all the kirtaniyas, I got like a death stare because nobody else was noticing, but everybody who saw me, they were saying, "Is that even the right thing?" And then in the second half, I started like focusing on the on Krishna's name instead of me playing, and
Nice.
then it seemed to work. Yeah, because Krishna's the flute player. He's the original flute player, and the thing is, the mridanga is actually an incarnation of the flute. So the
Mm.
flute is Krishna's favorite instrument, and the mridanga became Lord Chaitanya's favorite instrument, which I just find it nice to be able to learn these instruments to use in service of Krishna because
Wow.
before I was learning metal flute in the band and it wasn't as pure because I wasn't using it for Krishna's service. I was rather just
Mm.
playing it to learn it.
That's awesome. We should get a band together. have an online youth jam band. Arav, you can be our leader playing the instruments. All right, we'll do Rian and then Keshav. Rian, go ahead.
So same thing happened with Mridanga. Like I was like saying like, if you focus on the beat you're playing on, then your hands just get to the mridanga and they start playing. You don't have to focus on it as much.
Wow. So you mean when you practice yourself more, then it becomes automatic?
I was saying like more when it, the beat that you're playing, if you just focus on that beat more and focus on your hands less, your hand will automatically take up and start playing.
Got it. Like if you know the beat well, then you can match that rhythm. Wow. That's awesome. Keisha?
I just wanted to ask Arif, who do you learn flute from, or do you just learn from yourself?
Oh, flute. So, if you know the Mayapuris, you know the Mayapuris?
Yeah.
Krishna Kishore Muralidhar Prabhu, he teaches me. Yeah.
Oh,
You're learning from the best.
No,
Keshav, are you?
he's a good teacher, but I'm not such a good student, so it's like
No, I'm sure you are. Keshav, you're also wanting to learn flute?
yeah. I learned a little bit, but like I don't really know that. Like the teachers really like I know like Sarigama, but like I really don't know how to play.
yeah, if you know the basic, then there's so many tunes you can just play with 4 or 5 notes. Like it's
Mm,
yeah, it's good to learn, but it's also good to learn the core instruments of the kirtan like kartal and mridanga.
yeah,
Because the first instrument I played in kirtan was kartals.
yeah.
Oh,
Kartals are so classic. You can just play them and it sounds great. Akshaj, where are you joining us from today?
Oh, I'm from Atlanta. Yeah,
Oh,
not the same satsang from Arav and Haridas.
oh, you know them already.
Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome. Did you know
yeah,
about this program because of them?
yeah, yeah. I knew from Arav.
Oh, nice. And what
Yeah,
grade are you in right now?
I'm in 8th grade.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
And Arav, are you in the same grade as him or older or younger?
No, I'm in ninth grade, or I'm
You're
going
in
to
ninth
ninth
grade.
grade.
You're going to ninth grade. Okay. Wow. Awesome. Well, this was great, everyone. Thank you for joining and making this such a awesome and nourishing youth jam. And we'll just make a prayer. Dear Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Srila Prabhupada, if you so desire, please allow everyone who joined this call and everyone who thought about joining this call, everyone who slept through or missed joining this call to be able to follow in your footsteps and try to offer everything that they do in your service and be a kind friend to all living entities. Thank you for considering our request. And anyone who agrees with this prayer in whole or in heart, please say Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Great to see everyone. We'll see you back in U Jam next